We've been on the road for just over a month now, living full-time in our renovated travel trailer, which is where we are right now. We live in here with our 2 dogs. And when we hit that 1-month mark last week, we took some time to reflect on how things have been going. And we want to give you our honest review so far of full-time RV life. We have things that we love and things that we don't necessarily love, and it's different for both of us just because obviously we have different personalities and different things bother us. Should we start with the good or the bad?
The good.
We'll start with the good. The things that I love are pretty obvious about full-time RV living. Way more freedom, the ability to spend my time how I want to spend my time. Coming from working in TV news, it was just the complete opposite situation. Very rigid, strict schedule. Pretty much no flexibility or very little flexibility. So this is a complete 180 from that, and I am much less stressed on a day-to-day basis because of that. So that's number one. Number two is having less stuff. I'm really enjoying not spending money on items, not buying clothes, because we have nowhere to put it, right? I feel like we got to a point where we were just accumulating so much stuff and we didn't even know what we had. We know exactly what we have living in this small of a space, which I personally really love. The third thing that I love is just getting to see family and friends. Again, my career for the past almost 10 years sort of prevented me from spending any extended period of time with family or friends, and we've been able to do that so much more in the short time that we've been on the road, which is pretty much invaluable. So Cole's set of what he loves are much different from mine.
One is very similar with the flexibility that you have. Like, you have it because you're not working a full-time, like, rigid job. I think I like the flexibility of, I have a regular job and I'm working 8 to 5, but we can be wherever we want to be. Like, as soon as I'm done with work, we drove 20 minutes into a national park and can explore. So that flexibility of location, we're not bound by one location, and I can do my job, but I can also have the freedom to go do whatever I want to do, wherever I want to go. Another thing I love is our solar setup, which was a huge kind of undertaking for me, kind of in the building of the camper, of kind of doing all the research on that. Our ability to not have to camp in campgrounds and still be able to generate the power that we need to pretty much run everything in this camper, from our laptops, charging cell phones, drones, water pumps, fans, all of that stuff. We can run off of our solar. The only thing we can't is our AC. So we have to be a little kind of travel where the weather is going to be the best or things of that nature. At the end of the day, solar has been awesome and a game changer and saved us a ton of money on the road because we don't have to stay in expensive campgrounds or RV parks a lot, and we can pretty much have all the same benefits.
For example, we're boondocking today. We are in Idaho near Island Park, right? That's where we are. It's hot outside. I do wish that we had AC, but we've been staying for free all week long in different spots, and we haven't had any issues with power because of the fantastic solar setup that we have. So thank you for putting that in there.
You're welcome.
Moving on to what we don't love. This is probably what people are more interested in. What I don't love about RV life. Number one is the maintenance. There are some days where I feel like my entire day is taken up by trying to fix things, trying to address problems, and you can't just put stuff off when you're living in an RV like you can in a house. It's not like, oh, I'll call up the plumber to see if they can come over in 2 days to fix the toilet. We drive this thing around, and we can't really take it on the road if something is broken. We have to fix it immediately. For example, we recently had some issues with our toilet leaking, and we were concerned that it was causing water damage under the floor. It had to be fixed right away, and we were moving, we were driving, so we sort of had to fix it on the road. We had somewhere we needed to be, we had a reservation, so we had to get it done fast. And that took up pretty much our entire Friday last week. The maintenance is kind of a pain, and just because RVs are not built to be lived in full time means that stuff does break often. The second thing that I do not love about full-time RV living is I really miss having a yard for our dogs. We lived in Denver before going full-time in the RV, and we had a backyard, and it was so wonderful to just be able to open the door, let them run out. It was a lot easier for Ladybird, our crazy black lab, to get exercise because we could play frisbee back there with her. If we're staying in a place like where we are right now, boondocking, it's great. We can open up the door, she can run around, but if we're staying in a designated campground, most of the time they have a leash requirement. So we have to walk them, which is fine, but she is so energetic that it's just a lot easier for her to sprint and run and play, and leash walking doesn't really get the job done. The third thing that I do not love about RV life, it smells in here very easily. And for some reason, Cole doesn't notice this like I do.
I have a bad nose.
I notice it all the time. I feel like it stinks in here often. And it's not like something is wrong. It's just because you're living in a small space. You don't get to shower as often as you'd like to. Dirty clothes pile up. You have dirty dishes. You have the black water tank, the gray water tank, just all of these sort of stinky things in a small space. You really have to clean often. In a house, when you have, you know, your trash and all those other things, it's more spread out. Here, it's just like all in with each other. So I don't love that.
Privacy in a small space has gotten to me a little bit. Number one, I'm a large human. I'm like 6'3", I have to like duck under the doors, like the bed's kind of small, places are kind of small, toilet's kind of small. But it's more of, I've been so used to having like a steady, quiet workspace throughout the day. So now I'm in 140 square feet with 2 dogs and another person, and everything is just kind of hyper loud in my brain of when I'm used to being so quiet and being able to focus. Being in a small space has been a little bit, I don't know, I feel trapped when I'm working at times where I'm not in control of everything around me, so it kind of takes me off my focus while I work at times. So that's probably the number one thing. Number two kind of goes along with the maintenance side of things a little bit as well, is just we have to constantly be thinking about the levels of our tanks, whether that's the black tank or the gray tank or fresh water, because she drinks like 6 gallons of water a day.
Gotta stay hydrated.
And the dogs and everything. So it's just in my head before we started, I thought, oh, we won't have to do those things more than once a week. And it's turned into every 4 or 5 days we need either be filling up a tank or dumping a tank. And so that's just a lot of maintenance of thinking about and planning whenever we're moving from campground to campground. Whenever we go to someplace new, we need full water. We need to get rid of our black and our gray. So it's a lot more thinking involved with that, and a lot more just like little things that have to be done every time we need to move.
Which is so funny because the dumping of the tanks doesn't bother me at all, and filling up our fresh water tank. Like, water is really cheap on the road. You can find free water most places that you're going to, so that's not an issue. It doesn't bother me at all. So it's funny, like the different things that different personalities see as a problem in this type of lifestyle. And I'm sure the list will go on as we continue down the road. I'm curious, other people out there, if you're thinking about living in an RV full time, or if you've been doing it, what things bother you the most? What are your favorite things? Or what things do you think would bother you the most? Or if you just have any other general RV life questions, we'd love to hear them. We're going to keep doing videos like this as we continue on in our journey, and would love to answer some of the questions that people have. So please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment below. You can follow us on social media, TikTok and Instagram at WorkinfortheWild. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.